if Satan, anywhere poverty and shame lasted long, the principal thing Satan did was to distract people. Let me say it again. I said, if shame and poverty have stayed in a family for long, the principal thing Satan did on earth was to do what? Now, distraction is something that God will use the totality of your life to accomplish. You first of all scattered your life. Let me say it again. I said, something that God will use the totality of your life to, you first of all did what? Scattered your life into 7 directions. If you scatter your life into 7 directions, it can no longer be whole. If you start looking at 5 things instead of looking at one thing, the other one thing you can be, God will say, look at this thing only. And then you start looking at 5 things. Remember that the attention is already on 5 things. And if out of the 5, 1 might be the one God asks you to give the whole of attention. As long as you're looking at 5 things, you're not going to see any of them clearly. Every day of my life, what I do is to understand my calling, not even calling, my life very well. And I give it everything. One of the books that came out here is Taking Your Life Assignment in Stages. When I was praying by the sea this morning, by the wall of the sea there, I had an encounter in my soul about the prayer I should pray. The Lord came there and told me, he said, all the days of your life, I have told you that there's only one thing you should ask me. And I renewed covenant to ask God for only one thing. But today, you know, in that morning, he made it clearer to me. And that is where this thing came from. That if your energy is meant to accomplish one work, if you scatter that energy into 5 things, it cannot accomplish anything very well. That is why the reason the Yoruba men have become apostles is because their wives give their energy to the work of their husband. Have you seen Bishop Oyedebo's wife say he has a call? That's my question. Kumi's first wife and second wife, did they have call? They don't know how to preach. You have an assignment in Switzerland. You travel to Switzerland to preach. Your wife traveled to America. And the church in Calabar stayed there for 1 month without pastor and his wife. And you want a big church. Life, where I kept it. So the greatest enemy I have is distraction. And I will never allow it. Because it will introduce painful devaluation. When a man's life is stolen, the pain lasts forever. You see, you know, can I tell you something? If you're hearing me and people have stolen your 30 years, you will never recover it. It's in the past. Now that particular platform, I don't know whatever you were doing with it. I don't know whatever you were doing. But people can lose their life through ignorance. Because they don't have teachers. I am keeping a destiny for Nigerians, for Africans. Listen, intentionally, from vision, slowly but steady. I am not looking for quick manifestation. I am looking for visionary stability. Oh, somebody say, Shepherd, you have become that. I say, I know I will. I work for it intentionally. It didn't just happen. It's not made subject to chance. I could see it. I gave it something. That thing you said that happened, that looked like a miracle, I gave it something. I said, I did what? Huh? Listen, I will never use my life to work miracle. I mean, what I mean is trying to hope on miracle. The miracle is proper investment of life. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. The richest African man is a Muslim. The other ones, the second person is still a Muslim. And if what I said is correct, and when you say richest, it means they run this destiny, they run the economy of Nigeria. So what do we know as church? The program is coming. Listen, you know the program coming this week. I've always loved preaching, but I had encounter on taming the heaven and mobilizing the earth. There is something I know about it. Energy has been coming on me. I said, Lord, I'm waiting for this program to change my life. Because I understand how to take harvest from investment. I know what it means for a man to be sure of where he's keeping his life. As far as I'm concerned, that is a real miracle. I said, I know what it means for somebody to be sure of where he's keeping his life. It is not possible. It's not possible for you to be caught up with frustration. Why would you be bold? You're looking at somebody for 5 years, looking at something for 5 years, that every minute of your life you make gain. Somebody will call you on phone and you will know whether you will answer or not. So I said, men are painfully what? Huh? Painfully devalued. You're looking at me. You're telling somebody about immortality. And he doesn't want to listen. When he died, they ask you to come home. Come home, did they give you transport? They should give you transport. Or anywhere an idiot die, you just start traveling. Or somebody's supposed to be, somebody is sick. Somebody is. Can I please look up? There are so many nonsense ways we have invested our emotions. Please hear me. This is midnight. We can't please unbelievers. An unbeliever is a confused person. He's already destroyed. In the midst of confusion, there must be destruction. And in case you don't know, people know how to quote scripture out of vision. I was in Galilee camp. We have a program there for 10 days. For a program there for 10 days. And somebody didn't come there. And it's from my family. And then after I have stayed there 10 days, he came, he's just calling me on phone. I should send him money. Hi. I look at the phone there. I just believe that the phone should be that person. The number should turn to that person so I can use Koboko. Any money you share with fools is lost. I said any money you share is what? Please hear me. When God called me, He didn't tell me I should be sharing money to my village people. He told me to raise an altar of prayer where they should come and call His name. And anybody who didn't come there is an agent of the devil. I will do nothing with you. So what the money I will use in buying rod, I will send it for you. I will do it for you. Now, listen, when people have the shape of problems, they will live for problems. Somebody can be alive and he will take the nature of a problem. Let me say it again. I said somebody can be alive and we take the nature. Distractions lead to destruction. That on your paper. Distractions. When I see a distracted person, I know he's already lost. I said distractions lead to what? To destruction. Because if vision didn't can you, I said if vision didn't can you to protect you, you can invest your resources, you can invest your time, you can invest your land on anything. I say if vision didn't can you, you wouldn't even excuse me. You can imagine where I gave back to Christian Jr. Somebody who is looking like me, but he's a fool. I said, that boy there, he look like a shepherd. There can't be two shepherds. One has to be inferior. One has to be a minor. One has to be something that's not good. Because the original has been abused. If you don't like it, don't worry about it. It's part of my divinity. I preach that way. I say I preach, but I will never be reproduced. It's not possible. I know I'm a master in dealing with distraction. That's why one of my best books is that book on this book. I understand the state of focus. It's one of my best. Even here on the altar, I still mind what I say. I have a lot of messages. Some of them I can't preach it, so I study it. And then I study time allocation to each message. It is wrong. Something might need your attention, and you can still give it attention. But you should know the quality of attention you should give it. That is why, please listen. That is why associating with high-level people will always help you. You see, because if you stay with a lot of people who are depreciated, they don't know use of time and value of life. They always want to subtract you because they want you to feel something for something that is reducing you. They don't know what is called to reduce a man. So they can burden you with story that you don't need. And you are actually getting nothing from the story. And yet the story is sapping your emotion and your time. They don't feel it. I said they don't what? No, they don't feel it. They don't know it. So you should not give them chance. And in a dilapidated area like Africa, where learning is not appreciated, people hurt people with ignorance. Somebody just call you by 1 a.m. just for a minor reason. I said somebody called you by 1. Somebody call your number by 1 a.m., 2 a.m. just to find out how you are doing. Your phone started ringing when spirits are having meeting. At the dead of the night, just for hello to a mortal because of ignorance. Some people still do it to me. You call somebody by 4 a.m. to tell him something very minor. You send somebody text by 4 a.m. to ask him for money. How can you put pressure on somebody early in the morning? You want that man's blood to start running up? The man should give you money by 6 in the morning. And how can a poor brain understand it? There is a particular time in the night and in the morning you don't ask people for things because they need rest. Somebody say, yeah. There is nothing. You know why Dangote is the richest African man? He's the richest African man and maybe one of the 100 in the world. Why is the richest among us and very low in the midst of the world? It's because of environment. Because we need ourselves. If you gather around you so much of the devalued people, then you will go down. The reason that some people friendship does not make meaning to them, care doesn't make meaning to them, is because of religion. They do a lot of emphasis on God. You say, I know what God has promised me. Which whatever God promised you, men must be involved. Principles must be involved. So when you have key people in your life have advanced. In case you don't know, there are problems some people cannot solve. So you don't even discuss it with them. They will not be able to, they were not made by God to solve those problems. They were not created by God to solve it. So you can't tell them about that. If you're looking for 10 million naira, and can't you know those people, can't you remember faces? Is there anybody that you see, you say you have need of 1 million naira? That is also how God is. God knows where things are kept, and then he knows that he has to go there to go and get it. There is something I want us to note in my sharing this afternoon. Sacrifice determines how great our destinies are. The word is, Kennedy, make it sacrifices, then determine. When you do S in sacrifice, you remove S from determine. Now, can you look up? If you, one of the ways to know how serious God is taking you and what God will want to turn you into is controlled by what He's asking you. Because great destinies cannot be established on earth with little sacrifices. Let me say it again. I say great destinies cannot be established on earth with small sacrifices. Because it is not God that pays. I say it is not. No, it's not God that pays. If you look at 23:33 of the book of Luke, 23:33 of the book of Luke, he said, when they were come to the place which is called Calvary, there they crucified him. Now, it was to lay the foundation of the spiritual kingdom of God that the Son of God has to die. tomorrow morning I'm going to write a course on He was crucified. But that's what we're going to sing on Sunday. That is the wounded Messiah.